I would like to talk to you about how you and your partner pay the bills. I want to show you a video real quick.
Gets up earlier than 6 o'clock has to log on here.
I like to keep track of our flushing because that attributes to our actual cost of our water bill each month.
Well, every time we flush a toilet, we have to put a tally mark. Whoever flushes the toilet more owes extra on the electric and the water bill.
It's fair. You know, if one person's using more than the other, then that person should pay.
So we're going to divvy it up and see who owes what. It looks like I owe $20.07, but Rick only owes $18.59.
Yes.
The parents plan to save $1 on every major life event to come.
A true cheapskate plans for every eventuality, including death. We decided to arrange our funeral now because that way we'll avoid all of the inflation. Statistically, men die before women, and I don't want Rick to die and me be stuck with a huge funeral bill. I can get it now at half the cost. We want to just have one burial, one funeral, one everything.
Okay, so let's get into this. Let's deal with the last part first. Getting your final arrangements out of the way is actually an incredibly intelligent thing. Predominantly because you do save on cost increases. You know, if you are in your 30s or 40s and you know where you're at and where you want to be buried or what your final services will be, and you could pay for them then get that day's prices rather than the prices 30 years from now, whatever. That's incredibly intelligent. You know, one burial, to each their own, but one of you is going to have to hold your fucking breath unless you're going to pay to exhume the other person to get reburied again with you, which would seem to me would be the same cost minus a casket, but whatever. Anyway, the first part to me is the part that is foreign to me, right? And I know that there are couples that do this. There's his money and her money, and then you pay this part of this bill, or you pay this bill and I'll pay this bill. And I understand it. It works for some people. I'm not ripping that system. It's foreign to me because from day one, Renee and I put everything into one pot. That's it. It's all one pot. If I was making more, then I contributed more to that pot. If she was making more, then she contributed more to that pot. But it was one pot from day one. It's always been our money from day one, across the board. What she has is mine, what I have is hers. Period. We've had a singular checking account for 27 years. And we have found it easier if just one of us pays the bills, and that has been me for a number of years. And I have no problem with that role, yada, yada, yada. I don't understand. It is foreign to me, the people who have separate bills. Now, when you first move in with one another, I can understand seeing, trying to keep some things separate and figure out the equality of it before you know if you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody. From the moment Renee and I moved in with one another, before we got married, we were living together a year before we got married. It was all one. Fuck it, it's all one pot. So it's already foreign to me to have his money and her money, and you pay this bill and I pay this bill, and no, we all put it into one pot, and we pay the mortgage, we pay the car payment, we do this, we do that. This level of separation, track your flushing, no, not a chance in hell I would ever live like that. Not a fucking chance. And you see how it was almost like a game to him? Yeah, I owe less this month. Dude, I thought you guys were a partnership. In a partnership, you take it all together. The good, the bad, the excess, the deficit, the happy times, the sad. You take it all together. You're a fucking partnership. I know it's not the case, but to me, it always seemed like the folks that had separate accounts and paid their separate bills were folks that were always not sure if we're going to make it. Maybe we're going to get a divorce. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying that just seems to be the mindset to me. I need to have my shit in case this whole thing falls apart. Now, this is us, man. We're in this together. For good or fucking bad, man. And that's all of it. Lock, stock, and fucking barrel. It's foreign to me. And this level of cheapskate shit, this level of separation, track your flushing. If you get up before somebody else, you log in because you're using electricity before somebody else. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.